recently went to DC Warp Tour
Yep, DC 26. What an experience.
2026. What an experience. I mean, I had experiences that were different than your experiences, but yeah.
Yeah.
Whose do we want to talk about first? Or do you want to talk about yours and I'll just be like, oh yeah, mine was like this.
Yeah, we may as well talk about mine and then we can like compare, I guess.
Since yours is more recent.
Yeah.
Mine's old
Um,
news.
I'm gonna I'm gonna start by saying I saw all the warnings about the shit tiles that were infamous in DC, and they got these names because I guess something about like the way the mud is, where like if it rains, and they put these plastic tiles over the grassy area. So if it rains, it's not just all mud. But the adverse side of that is, well, now you've got these plastic tiles on top of mud and you're stepping on them, and you've got this mud squirting up between the tile. And so they call them shit tiles or they call them shit geysers. It's not real poo. It smells awful. And to be fair, um, the first night of Warped Tour, Saturday, walking back, it hadn't rained that day. It didn't rain the entire weekend, thankfully. Um, but the day before it rained pretty extensively in the morning. So there was a little bit of mud coming up through, and I was like, if it was this bad just from yesterday, I could only imagine what it was like last year. Um, Thankfully, they only had them at the entrance with part that you had to walk through. You didn't have to walk on them at any point, really. Um, and they replaced the shit tiles with metal grated platforms that were not very secure. I'm gonna say, I mean, they were secure. They were moving around, but they were bouncy as you walked on them. So it was like the best way I could describe it is like if a bunch of people were walking on it, if you remember or like know what it's like to go on like a fun house at a carnival or fair with like that little part that's
Yeah.
like that little it was like walking on one of those at times and it was like, okay, Jesus. But no encounter with shit tiles.
Yeah, but I heard people were talking online about the other tiles, like the metal platformy things. They're like, oh, might as well barbecue us all,
Yeah.
because they're metal and it was hot as hell.
Well, yeah, but I mean, don't sit on them? Or like are you walking around barefoot? I
I
mean,
mean, the heat can just come up from them, I guess.
yeah, it really wasn't that bad. I think they were more I could be completely speculating. I think they were aluminum, so I don't think they were radiating much heat personally when I was walking over them when it was hot. My only concern, honestly, was like Sunday. So at the end of day two, there were thunderstorms in the area, and a bunch of the merch tents were on top of the metal grates. So I'm like, what a really shitty place to be if lightning strikes and then it just spreads across all the metal, and
Well, if
you've
they're
got like
aluminum,
a, yeah, I would imagine they were probably aluminum. But
then they wouldn't be conductive
no,
for the
they wouldn't.
lightning.
They wouldn't.
So there's
But
that at least.
yeah, but the metal grates were um an interesting choice. Now going in prior, they had released like the festival grounds map, which really looks like reproductive organs.
Yeah, I thought so too.
If you're
I
not
saw it.
aware of what we're talking about, maybe I'll take the time and find the picture of it and insert it here.
It does look like
Um,
some type of GI tract or something.
GI tract or like
Something.
ovaries or something. Um, uh, Somebody put a comment. I was in a bunch of the groups on Facebook that were talking about it, and they're like, "Wow, there's only 8 trees. I guess that's enough shade for everybody." I think I didn't count them, but there probably were really only like 8 trees for shade. I think most people, when you enter the festival grounds, you have to go under an overpass. Um, After you've gone through security, and a lot of people hung out underneath that for shade. Um, I call them the bridge people. So shout out to the bridge people staying cool.
Yeah, there were like trolls
There were a lot of people under that bridge.
under the bridge, and they were probably like, pay me my toll to pass.
But then there was hardly any seating elsewhere. There were a couple tents with um like turf, like fake grass where you could sit, but there were also benches, not enough benches. Again in a couple different spots. But there were problems of people parking their ass on a seat all day long. And then they'd be like, "Oh, I want to go see a band." And they would swap out with someone else who was there and they would put the stuff on the seat and save the seat. And it's like, I'm not griping about it that hard. Like a lot of people were complaining about it. I just sat my butt on the fake grass um, anytime that I needed to sit. But um,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I'm not against sitting on the ground, so
I'm curious. Are the Is the info out on how many tickets they sold?
I have no idea.
It says it was sold out.
Well,
So
then you'd have to
what
look
does
at the grounds
RFK?
to see what the
Yeah.
capacity is. Because when I was in Orlando at Warped Tour, my friend told me that it was like 72,000.
Okay. Max capacity for RFK in Washington, D.C. is 45,000. So it sounds like they hit about 45,000.
Really?
Um,
45,000?
yeah.
Well, then hell, then Warped Tour, you need to come to Milwaukee because Summerfest grounds hold 65,000.
Dang.
You can totally have Warped Tour on the grounds. We have plenty of stages to use.
So, overall, I get it. Like people are hot, they want shade, they want something more comfortable to sit on than the ground. But listen, I'm almost 40. For the 2 days that I was there, we spent, we didn't go the full day. I think we ended up spending close to 16 hours total. I only sat for an hour between the 2 days. So I think the first day I sat for maybe 20 minutes, the second day was maybe 40. And like, it's a festival, it's a music festival. Like, you're going to be standing, you're going to be tired.
Yeah.
Seating is going to be limited. It's kind of like you got to deal with it. I will say, if somebody happens to be watching this from Warped Tour, Kevin Lyman, anybody, around the outside perimeter of RFK, just benches around all of where you've got the fencing, and you would have so much more seating. Um, that would solve quite a bit of the problem. Because what happened was people would park also under the tree, like under those couple spots of the trees, but it was also near the beatbox stage, I believe. Um, the beatbox and ghost stages. And as people are trying to walk through where like the food was and the stages, it gets bottlenecked because people are just sitting there and where people need to walk.
Yeah, and you didn't have VIP, so I mean, VIP probably had some shaded areas for people to get out of the sun.
They did a little bit. From what I heard was that VIP this year was worse than last year.
Oh, fun.
Less seating, waiting for food took longer. The only thing that was worth it was the air-conditioned bathrooms. But I am not going to pay 300 additional dollars to pee in air conditioning.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I would have loved VIP because near the end of, the night at Warped Tour in Orlando, both nights, yeah, some of those porta potties were looking pretty rough. I mean, when I go in one and there's like literally blood on the floor in there and I stepped in it and didn't realize it and left a footprint outside the damn porta potty, I'm like, yay.
now I will say I don't know if it was a problem last year in DC, but it seems like they were on top of the bathroom situation. I heard that they added a lot more to DC. So there were two different areas for general admission bathrooms. Um, if you come in the grounds and you're walking back toward the vans and the off the wall stage, there's one on the left and then there's one on the right. Um, the one on the left I called Porta Potty Village because it was seriously there were so many. And then they weren't just like rows of porta potties. They were like it was almost like a maze of porta potties.
Yeah.
And there were so many, um, but they had attendants constantly walking around, and as people came out, they would check toilet paper, they would see if it was clean, and they were going in, they were cleaning constantly, they were making sure, like the porta potty situation was pretty good for DC, so I'm going to give them kudos for that. There was never a wait for one, um, and it was never I never walked in one that was gross. Um, all I'm going to say is people like if there's a porta, yeah, it's a porta potty. Get over it. Um, if there's poop in the bowl, there's poop in some people poop. Get over it. Like that's still pretty clean to me. Like yeah, you don't want to see it, whatever, but as long as it's not on the floor, on the seat, on the walls, it's pretty okay at that point for a porta potty.
Yeah. Yeah. The porta potty situation in Orlando was okay. There was a lot of porta potties to choose from, but I don't think they were upkept. They didn't keep them up very well. Because I went in one and it was out of toilet paper. And then I went in another one, it was out of toilet paper. And I'm like, I'm just gonna go walk further to the ones further and back because chances are they probably still have toilet paper because people aren't walking all the way back there. Because I tried going to a close one, but yeah. And then that was the one I ended up with blood in it. And I was like, great. Oh, there was also
So,
a toilet seat missing on one.
hmm,
Like
so,
someone ripped it off or something. I don't know.
so what I'm gonna say is that now, like in Elder Emo, Warp Tour being 2 days, let's talk warped essentials, like that you definitely need to bring. Now I saw them like in the groups, what people were recommending you bring and everything. I don't know if other stops have the lockers. I definitely recommend getting a locker. It was worth it. We didn't go to it that often. I want to say we stopped by maybe 3 or 4 times over the 2 days. Um, yes, they have charging cables in it. They don't do shit. We at one point we stayed there just to get some shade and sat next to the locker. I'm like, I'm going to charge my phone. Stayed there for 20 minutes. All it did was prevent my phone from dying further. It did not go up in percentage at all. Um, but it's worth it for merch if you want to bring a change of clothes. The small one is big enough. We brought in a tiny back, the clear 12 by 12 by 6 backpack, and there was still plenty of room. Like if we wanted additional shoes, if we bought merch, um, that's my recommendation. Definitely get the locker.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure
Um,
Orlando had lockers.
yeah, I don't remember seeing it at all locations. Um, Now, they're pretty stringent on what you need to bring. Everything is supposed to be new, sealed, etc. No aerosols of any kind. We had no problem. Like we brought in deodorant because, listen, we're adults. It's hot. Nobody wants to be smelling that. But we brought in deodorant that was already open. They didn't check. Um, we did bring tissues. We brought baby wipes, sunscreen, a portable charger. Um, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Um, they were pretty decent on their water prices, so we didn't bring in a water bottle. They were only $3, and then at that point, drink your one bottle and then go fill it up at the water station. We actually didn't do that. The water station was never really backed up or had a long wait. I think somebody said the longest they waited all weekend was 2 minutes on one of the forums. Um, Cassie and I just bought a new bottle of water each time because it's only $3 and it's cold. So we just kept doing that. Um,
Yeah,
but
I
you
brought
can,
my water bottle in and I refilled it a bunch, but then I lost it. I think it was during state champs.
yeah, yeah. I just didn't want to kind of have to worry about that. I did carry around one bottle with the intention of refilling it, and I'm like, it's only $3.
Plus, what did you need water bottles for? You had SOS water getting thrown at your head
I
during
know
during sets.
you do get the SOS water chucked at you
It
pretty
tastes
hard.
like plastic, but it's good in a pinch.
Yeah, it's to hydrate you in a pinch. The sunscreen is really worth like definitely sunscreen. Just remember like the every 2 hours because some of the people we saw were lobsters.
Oh no, I saw
Like,
plenty of lobsters in Orlando.
yeah, by midday Saturday, not even into day two, midday Saturday, people were already lobsters. So,
Yeah, it looked like they allowed umbrellas this year, or they were selling umbrellas this year.
we actually brought an umbrella. We didn't end up using it, so we brought it in case of rain. And then I had the idea of because I saw on the forecast it wasn't supposed to rain, but it was going to be sunny. I'm like, well, what about shade if we want it? There were a lot of people that use umbrellas for shade, quite a bit of them. Um, we just didn't end up doing it. The thought of holding something just pissed me off.
Yeah, because I don't think umbrellas were allowed at Orlando Warped Tour. Like I don't remember seeing any umbrellas, unless that's a new thing this year because of shade issues.
Maybe, maybe. I will say what I absolutely loved, if nobody else has heard about these, if nobody else has one, I was so blown away by how many I saw. Um, you can bring in non-professional photography equipment. There were so many Camp Snap digital cameras being used. We actually had one ourselves. It's just a screenless digital camera. It's fixed focus. And just I saw so many people with them and using them. It just made it just made the experience more fun putting our phone down the majority of the time. I think I got the only pictures I ever took were during video snippets that I recorded. So I didn't make any kind of special occasion to go, oh, I'm going to take pictures of whoever's performing. Nope, I got a bunch of like 30 to 50-second clips. And during that, I would hit the shutter button so I would also get a picture. But it's so much better to stay in that experience. Um, there was one girl I saw, she lost her phone, couldn't find it, and she ended up in the group being like, I'm so glad I actually did because I ended up being able to stay in the moment all weekend. I think she said it was early on. I think it was during Sleeping with Sirens or something like that. Um, so um, she's like good and not good at the same time because I lost my phone, but she got to
Yeah,
stay in the moment all weekend.
I know that there was people getting pickpocketed and their phones stolen in Orlando.
Women, don't put your phone in your back pocket. Such an easy target. Your pocket's not deep enough. Obviously, your phone is sticking out. There was a problem at DC too. There
Yeah,
were a lot of people saying that their phone got taken. Um, just don't put it in your back pocket. Honestly, just find some. I know there's some women's clothing out there that has deeper pockets. Find it and use it. Even if it's like the leggings with the pockets. I know about those. Just
yeah.
whatever you got to do. Go
I'm
go
thankful.
Avril and get cargo shorts just
I'm
for the
thankful
weekend.
that I did not get my phone stolen and I had it in my back pocket.
It's such an easy target. It's such an
But I
easy
guess
target.
people were using like tethers and stuff for their phones and all that. Like you could get a case that has like a little string
Yeah.
attached to it. I mean, maybe I'd do that if I went to Warp Tour next year.
Yep. But otherwise, those would be my essentials. The baby wipes, just again, I'm gonna say if you gotta do number two in a porta potty and there's no toilet paper, you'll be thankful for baby wipes. The tissues are good for everything. Um, as a matter of fact, um, Cassie ended up having a problem with her. She was so sweaty, her makeup was going into her eye, and it ended up getting bloodshot. She had to keep dabbing her eye with tissues. So definitely bring tissues. We also had an issue during Jimmy Eat World toward the end of the night on the second night. There was a little girl near us, like must have been like 7 or 8 years old. Something got in her eye, and we were able to help out her parents by having those baby wipes and like, you know, being able to like clear out her eye and everything. So, um, baby wipes and tissues are a must, along with sunscreen. If there are three things to bring, those are the three.
Yep, sunscreen for sure. I reapplied. I did not get burnt at Warp Tour in Orlando,
I
thankfully.
got I got a little burnt. I noticed it like I always notice I'm burnt when I get into the shower. that's when I'm like, ooh, okay, the water's hitting that. That kind of sucks. But I wasn't that burnt. I was actually pretty okay
Yeah.
for the
And
most
I
part.
mean, if you're an Elder Emo, definitely bring comfortable shoes because I wore my Vans and those were not comfortable enough all day. My feet were killing me by the end of the day, and then I had to do it all again the next day, and I was definitely starting to form blisters. So I had to go to first aid and have them give me big band-aids to put on the ball of my foot so that I would not get blisters because they just wasn't padded enough, and it was rubbing with my sock and all that, and yeah, no.
Yeah, we brought Band-Aids too, now that I think about it. Um, like the big ones. Um, the comfortable shoes 100%. I have what Cassie and I refer to as the geriatric Vans. So they're like more made for like walking and everything. Um, but I also just had this feeling. I'm like, I'm gonna bring my New Balances, even though they're hideous, not cool, whatever. So glad I wore the New Balances over the Vans. It night and day difference. Be comfortable over fashion. I just wore a simple tank top both days. No, correction. I wore a tank top the first day, and I just wore shorts. Like there was, if you saw me, there was no being like, oh yeah, that's an emo kid. You couldn't tell. I looked like the next gym bro walking down the street.
You gym bro. You
Um,
gym bro.
Gym bro. But the second day, I did wear a Jam XP shirt.
Yeah, you did. You sent me a picture of it and everything.
Hmm.
We were like representing Jam XP.
Representing. Maybe I'll insert it here if I remember. Um, the since you talked about the first aid or medical tent, how did you feel like they handled things?
They were good. I was like, do you guys have any giant band-aids? I'm getting blisters on the bottom of my feet. Actually, I went to the medical tent twice when I was at Warped in Orlando. The first time was, I think, the first day. Somehow I was sitting on the ground eating my French fries, and like I got went to get up and I got a freaking sliver of some sort in my hand. And I was like, I'm not gonna be able to survive the rest of the day with a sliver in my hand because it'll just irritate me all day. It's one of those things like my OCD will be like, I need it out, I need it out, I need it out. I won't be able to forget about it. So I had to go get my sliver removed. I think it was just some tiny little piece of metal or something.
Yeah. Now I went to the medical tent as well. Um, so I don't do well in heat. As a matter of fact, if I'm in the heat for too long, it can trigger like my anxiety. Now I was plenty hydrated, but it was during Hot Mulligan set that I was like the anxiety was kicking in. And like I was like, I don't know what's going on, blah blah. Sat down and I'm like, no, let's go to the medical tent. And they gave me two giant bags of ice. They checked my pulse and checked my oxygen. And they were like, you seem to be okay. Just go chill somewhere. Funny, there's nowhere to really sit. But they gave me the bags of ice, which helped me cool down. And of course, I kept drinking. I think I was already 3 bottles of water in at that point and we'd only been there for about 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours. So I was already downing water. But we stayed. I got through it. Um, and we stayed for the rest of. We left after Jimmy Eat World, which was like 9-ish. But we saw like 2 seconds of Story of the Year.
Yeah, I know
Eh,
you sent me like a little bit like picture, and I was like, oh wow, cool.
yeah, I was like, hey, look, I saw Story of the Year. They were playing Anthem. Yeah, I don't feel like saying that
Yeah,
full
I
title.
mean, Orlando was honestly the first day was hotter because there was absolutely no breeze and absolutely no clouds in the sky. And I was starting to feel it at one point, and I was like, I need to just go sit down. I think I sat down because I watched a little bit of the home team and I was just sweating to death. And then I walked away and I was like, I need to find somewhere to just chill, sit down, and eat. And that was the best choice I made because if I hadn't gotten out of the sun and had gotten food or something in my stomach, I probably would have passed out or something.
Yeah, it was seriously brutal. Um,
So, needless to say, the second day I took care of myself a little more and I made sure to sit down in some shaded area and eat my tacos that I got and yeah,
Yeah.
chill. But at least I did have my buddy Michael was with me at some of the sets because we kept meeting up later. Like I'd go to something, he'd go to something, and then we meet back up at another band that we both wanted to see. So at least we kind of had someone we could like be like check in on each other with.
Yeah. I will say, speaking of meeting up, because we had him on the podcast, he was supposed to be performing. I did not see Coco.
Oh no, Coco did not do DC.
He didn't do DC.
No.
Well, that explains it.
He had some car event going on, I think, in California.
Okay.
Bucky should
I
have been there though.
Bucky was there, and I think Steve Caballero was up there. I don't know if he was skating or not, but I saw him on top of the ramp. I saw that, and I did also see the Nitro Circus area, which was
Yeah.
pretty damn cool.
Do you remember what BMXer they did have?
No,
No.
I couldn't tell you.
Well, hopefully we can talk Bucky into coming on the podcast because that would be
That'd
great
be
to have Bucky
awesome.
Lassick on the podcast. He said he was really busy right now, but to check
I
back
mean,
with him later.
Warped Tour is pretty busy.
Well, and other things. But we'll check back with him later and hopefully, fingers crossed, he'll come on the pod and chat with us.
Yeah.
But but I did enjoy watching the Vert and stuff at Orlando because it was crazy that I like was like, "Oh, I know that person." I was like, "Coco Zarita. Last time I saw you was 17 years ago." And if nobody knows, we did do an episode with Coco, not more recently, but slightly recently. Wasn't too far.
Late winter,
It might have
I
been
think.
February,
Yeah, I was gonna say February, early March, maybe.
but check back at our older episodes and yeah, check out that episode with Coco.
So now I'll get into who I saw.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna have to try to remember who I all saw. I think I tallied it up, and I think I really only honestly between both days, I feel like I didn't see as many bands as I thought I did.
I definitely didn't see as many bands as I used to. Um, so a little piece of information, like before I get into this, I used to treat Warped Tour as kind of it was intended. Like you would mingle and like go stage to stage and get introduced to bands. Even the bands I wanted to see, I very rarely stayed and watched the entire set because I'd be like, okay, I saw some stuff that I wanted to see. I want to go check out another band. So that's how I treated Warped Tour. How Cassie treats Warped Tour is, no, I want to see this band. I'm watching the whole set. So we have very different takes on how we treat Warped Tour, um, which was fine. It didn't impact me that much. Um, I will say I was lazy and we waited until the schedule was leaked to go to Warped Tour, to actually go to the festival, so that we weren't there the entire day. Um, so the first day we got there around 1:30, the second day we got there around 2:30. Um, Day one for me started with the home team. So that was my first time seeing them, and they were amazing. Um, they put on a really good show. Brian sounds exactly the same as the record live. His voice is just his voice. So amazing performance. Um, right after them was Hawthorne. And the listen to all the Elder Emos out there and everybody who loves Hawthorne. I get it. They're so nostalgic. I would be perfectly fine never seeing them again. Um, they, how do I say this? To me, they don't sound great. And there's no energy in the performance, and it's just not for me. Um, but I did watch the entire set. Cassie wanted to stay and watch it, so we watched. After them, um, we went and watched Drop Dead Gorgeous on a side stage, and I was absolutely shocked at how packed that side stage was for them. Um, I did not stay entirely long to watch them. I watched two songs and I was already dying from the heat, sweating. Again, it was 93 degrees on the first day with no clouds in the sky, high humidity. So after that, we did make our way to there was like a an artist village and there was like a bunch of paintings in one of them and we went and looked at the paintings for a minute to be in the shade. After that, we saw Under Oath, which fantastic set. The last time I saw them, they didn't really play anything off of they're only chasing safety, and they played many songs off of it this time at Warped, so I was very, very happy to see that. I did temporarily leave Under Oath to go see Vanna play. I watched two songs and went back to Under Oath. Vanna sounded very good live. Again, for a side stage, very, very packed. And then we caught Sleeping with Sirens. I was never a huge Sleeping with Sirens fan. Cassie absolutely loves Sleeping with Sirens. I'm getting into them a little bit more. I do like them. I'm going to clarify. It's not that I don't like them. It's that I never got into them. Um, so stayed and watched all of Sleeping with Sirens set. And then I was like, all right, I need a break. At this point, it's like five something in the evening. So it's like starting to cool down, but also the heat is starting to wear on both of us. So we decided to get something to eat and kind of sit and chill for a minute. So got a smoothie, which was probably the best decision that I could have done when it's hot and you need food at the same time. Got a smoothie, and then Cassie found a hot dog and fries, which, by the way, $20 for the dinkiest hot dog and maybe seven fries. Come on. And while we sat on that fake grass in the shade, Taking Back Sunday played, I was so glad to hear Fred and so disappointed with Adam. But no, seriously, it was good to hear Fred back as backing vocals. Um, but yeah, it
Yeah.
was just I get it. Well, again, I get it. It's the nostalgia. I mean, obviously, I was singing along to some of the songs as I sat there and everything, but um, I'm okay not seeing them. They're the Hawthorne Heights, right? Because I was really really into Hawthorne Heights. I still like New Taking Back Sunday, like, but I'm okay not seeing them. Um, and then the last two to round out day one that we saw was Third Eye Blind. Now, I saw a lot of people on the forums complaining, like, oh my God, their set was too long. Honestly, as somebody who loves Third Eye Blind, and with the mix of like everything that was playing at Warped that weekend, it was actually a really nice break from everything else that was playing. To have like a more chill set and actually have a lot of people sing along to it. So it was, I don't know, it was one of my favorite sets, honestly, of the weekend. Um, and we finished the night with the used. Um, I do really like the used. Um, and I would say that they were better than the last time I saw them, which was in 2019, I believe. Um, Much better. I I enjoyed their set. Um, and that was the end of day one. I see you doing what looks like math over there, Jess. Are you trying to figure out who you saw day one and day two?
Yep.
Did you
I'm
figure
trying to
out day
figure it
one?
out. I feel like I saw like quite a lot of bands actually.
Oh, yeah. So okay. So to recap, my first day, one, two, three, nine bands on my first day.
Yeah, I think one, two, three, four, five. I think I saw at least 10. maybe 12 bands on my first day. And then my second day was a little less. I saw quite a lot. I feel like I saw at least a total of 24 bands, which is not bad.
No, it's not bad at all,
I mean,
considering.
I would say the home team I like watched kind of close for a little bit, but like I said, I kind of left and went and sat down, so I didn't watch their whole set. But I had to do what I had to do because I didn't want to pass out and die and then miss the
I
rest of the show, the rest of the day.
Yeah, I caught all of the home team. That was a nice set.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I sat down and got fries and then I got to I and then I was messaging Evan, our friend from my friend our friend from Australia from the band Forever at Midnight. And I was like, dude, where are you? And I finally got to meet up with him at Warp Tour and meet him in person since he came all the way from Australia for Warp Tour. But he didn't go to Warp Tour. He wasn't going to Warp Tour this year. He went to Welcome to Rockville this year. So he came all the way back to the States again. He must love 19 hours of flying. I know you would hate 19 hours of flying.
I'm gonna hate 10 and a half.
I know, but 19 would be even worse, wouldn't it?
Yeah, maybe
Although
Rockville is what I would do next year.
I mean, would not be a bad idea, but I'm kind of still holding off hope that Warped Tour gets a Midwest date somehow, some way, even though people say they're never going to do it because of Riot Fest and other Midwest festivals that are happening. Like, is incarceration in the Midwest? Or is that one
Ohio, isn't it?
somewhere in the Midwest, I thought. There's another one too that's also in the Midwest. And I'm just like, man, I didn't realize these were all in the Midwest, but they're still kind of far away, but not too far. But there's lots of festivals I could attend that aren't Warped Tour, but Warped Tour was my bucket list one because, all the years of going to regular Warped Tour, had to go. Had to go at least once, but maybe something closer would be cheaper for me.
Probably.
But no, I mean, the first day I remember I know I'm missing bands, but I can remember seeing like Head Automatica was the first band I saw that day because I was like, oh, I gotta go watch Head Automatica. Come on. They haven't done anything in like forever. And then Point North was a must for me because I was really loving Point North. So I saw Point North. And then uh definitely wanted to watch Story of the Year. Had to watch their whole set. And then I did see a little bit of the home team. I saw Crown the Empire, sorta. I kind of saw them from a distance because I've seen them before. So it wasn't like a huge thing. And I saw I Prevail, but it wasn't like up close for I Prevail at all because it was packed for I Prevail. And then Knuckle Puck, I saw a little bit of Knuckle Puck. And then yeah, I saw Yellow Card was the one of the last bands I saw that night. I think Yellow Card was my closer, maybe? No. No, they didn't close. But I saw Yellow Card and then I saw State Champs. And I saw some Wage War. Some of these are, like I said, some of them were a little bit from a distance and whatnot. But, and I
I
think
will.
oh yeah, no, I did see some from Ashes to New, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I will say Yellow Card closed out the first night. I was not sticking around. I've seen them. I don't need to see them even more.
Yeah, Hawthorne Heights closed out my night, I think. Well, on the smaller stage. I know that technically A Day to Remember and Falling in Reverse were the very end, my first night. But I was over at Hawthorne Heights or something. I don't remember. All I know is I was watching Hawthorne Heights because I was just waiting to meet up with everyone to leave because I carpooled with the people I was staying with. So I was like, well, I can't really leave until I find all of them. So I was like, well, I'll watch Hawthorne. I've seen them a bunch of times and I recently saw them not that long ago. Yeah, and the day two was Magnolia Park. I saw some Magnolia Park. Girlfriends. I saw Girlfriends. Who else did I see? I'm trying to figure this all out. I saw Swaco. Swaco was very fun to watch. Yeah, he was crowd surfing in the crowd on top of like I don't even remember a casket shaped plywood and nunchucks, and he had nunchucks and stuff. Someone had nunchucks and I borrowed them from someone. His set was very amusing. I saw him once at Summerfest actually. And yeah, watched some Bowling for Soup, met up with Hardcore Cheerleader, got to meet her in person, which was fun since we had her on the podcast. Uh, Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, I watched a little bit of from a distance. Had my tacos, and then watched some of the BMX and the skateboarding on the vert, kind of to just because there was just a lull in my day, I think. There were bands that I wasn't really waiting to see, and then I had to catch As It Is. I had to catch them on their set. And it was a great set. And then there was a medical emergency with someone in the crowd, so they stopped playing. So their set was kind of cut short, but I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. You're not gonna keep playing when there's somebody in medical distress.
There was some of that at DC. I don't remember who said it was during, but they stopped the show and they got medical up there.
Yeah. And then I watched Honey Revenge, and then watched a little bit of, I forget. I'm looking at this and I can't even recognize it. Maybe that was I Prevail, not the first night. That would have been the second night. I don't remember. It's all a blur. See, this was forever ago for me. So I'm like, wait, who did I else?
Forever 7 months, Jess.
Yeah, that's a long time. I watched some Chiodos from a distance. I didn't get super close for Chiodos. Of Mice and Men. Watched Of Mice and Men. Census Fail. Gotta watch Census Fail. Less Than Jake was fun. They had their toilet paper cannons. That remember who oh, crap. What's his name from the one band? He got to shoot the cannons at the show
Oh yeah, yeah.
that we had on. Shit, I know who it
That
was.
was recent.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. Title holder?
I think so.
Yes, it was title
Yeah.
holder. Yep. Matt got to shoot the cannon because they went on tour with Les and Jake for a small stint. So he got to shoot the cannon. He was so excited about that. If you haven't checked out that episode, go and check that one out. There's all these like random things that I'm talking about, and it's bringing up old episodes, and I'm like, oh, people need to go check these old episodes out. Come
I
on,
know.
you're missing out. You're
So
missing out.
my day two started with Millington, which was an amazing set. And I think they were the only ska band that was there. Um
That
Flog
can't be. They couldn't have been
yeah,
the
they
only
were
ska band.
Flogging Molly was supposed to be there if you can count them as ska. Not really. But no, Millington was the only ska band.
That's crazy.
And yeah, and so they it was packed for Millington. Um Probably again up there with the best sets of the weekend, the home team and then Millington for me. I wasn't going back to day one, except for third, well, not even Third Eye Blind. I wasn't really blown away by anybody except for the home team on day one. Um, but Millington was really good. They bled over into MXPX. So once Millington was done, I went and I watched MXPX. Um, and during that set, Dan from Story of the Year came out. That was unexpected, but that was fun to watch. Like, oh, I'm gonna fuck up your set now. Um,
Sounds like Dan.
and then right after MXPX, Hot Mulligan came on, and they started with Armadillo Shells, which was a perfect opener. But again, after like the second song, I was like not feeling well. So we went, sat down for a little while. Now Hot Mulligan was on 3:30. I can't remember what time they were on. Um, but there was like an hour and a half in there, like where I'm not feeling well. So the next band we saw wasn't on until 5. Um, the couple songs I heard of Hot Mulligan, amazing. They're one of those bands you either like them or you don't. I saw everyone bitching about them in the comments or saying that they were really good on the Facebook group. That's just Hot Mulligan reactions. Um, but then we went to see Arm's Length. And what I'm going to say about Arm's Length, I can't stand listening to their album. It feels slow, it feels boring. Seeing them live is such a fantastic experience. Now, I saw them when I was in Philly. I thought that they played very well live in Philly. I just hated the venue. But watching Arm's Length live, if you've never seen an Arm's Length show, just go for the experience. It's such a vibe. It's so much fun. Of course, I know a decent amount of the songs. It's one of Cassie's favorite bands, so she plays them a lot. But I'd much rather see them live any day. Um, then I saw Daisy Grenade. They played right after Arm's Length. They put on a pretty good set. Stayed for a couple of the songs, not too much, because Cassie wanted to see the story so far. I feel like I've made my opinion on the story so far fairly well known. So she watched them, and I tried to find my older son some merch from, yeah, at this point, like the night's kind of winding down because you're talking, it's like 6 o'clock. So a bunch of the merch tents are getting packed up already. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try and find him something. He wanted something from Sleeping with Sirens, or like Story of the Year, and just Sleeping with Sirens was already gone, and Story of the Year was sold out of a lot of stuff. So I went back and forth during that set. I will say, even Cassie was disappointed in the set. They didn't really play as much of what she wanted to hear. So that was the story so far. We decided to get food and sit down at this point. So now we're pushing like 6 o'clock or something like this, maybe later. Definitely later. It's probably closer to like 6:37. Um, and Coheed is on one of the main stages. I've never gotten into Coheed. I really don't care about Coheed. Like, it is what it is. But we got food and we're sitting there and they're playing and um they're playing all the songs Cassie never expected to hear them play live. So she did get up and like watch them a little more while we were like kind of hanging out. And then we finished the night with Jimmy Eat World, and their set was quite amazing. So currently, if you don't know, Jimmy Eat World is doing their 25th anniversary of their debut album. And that's the set they did at Warped Tour. It was a great set. Um, and at that point, we're winding down. The weather is kind of getting sketchy because it was supposed to start having like extreme thunderstorms. So we're like, it's getting a little sketch, and that's when we decided that we were gonna take off instead of hanging around. Um, the early November was the closer of everybody, which really shocked me. But we didn't stick around for them because we saw that they were going to play fan selected songs and they had posted what it was going to be, and we were just like, I don't want to hear any of that.
Yeah.
So we took off, and that's when we saw Story of the Year on the way out for one song. Um, but yeah, that was who I saw in my experience with the music aspect of Warped Tour.
Yeah. Did you check out the Warp Tour like museum stuff at all?
No.
They had like a little museum thing set up. I kind of went in there for like a hot minute and checked out a little bit of the stuff, but that I checked out.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna say this. Everybody, Elder Emos, just everybody, bring freaking earplugs. Bring earplugs because even with my earplugs, especially on the main stages, the forget the sound volume in general for 1 second. The bass levels are ridiculous. And there were a couple times I couldn't hear what Cassie was trying to tell me, and I took them out. Instant pain. And like just earplugs.
Yeah.
Just do earplugs. And she was complaining about her head hurting after day one, and even like into day two. Um,
I have my loops with me.
yep, I got mine sitting right in front of me.
I don't have mine
Um,
sitting in front of me right now, but I have my loops with me at Warp Tour.
Now I will say I tested out something different than loops. Um, and they're cheaper. Walmart has knockoff versions that I used for emo night this past Friday. They work just as well. Um, just $15 compared to 40. Just pick those up instead.
Yeah.
And again, they kind of look the same. Again, hold on.
My loops
Like
are the adjustable ones. It's got the three
so so
settings.
are mine. So like this one is the loops, this one's from Walmart. Like it's
Yeah.
nearly identical. And actually the ones from Walmart are a little more comfortable because the part that like rests in your ear is silicone instead of hard plastic.
Yeah, that doesn't really bother me about my loops. I
No,
tried
it
some
doesn't bother me.
eargasm ones. I ordered some off of Amazon and I tried them and I could not get them to feel like they were secure in my ear. Like I felt like if I bobbed my head too much or got pushed by someone, my earplug would fall out. And my husband even tried them and he didn't like them either. And then I was like, well, I'm going to return them. And you start the return process and they're like, your refund will be given. No need to return. And I'm like, okay, so now I have this pair of eargasms that I have no use for.
It's probably like hygienic reasons,
It
I would
is probably,
imagine.
but it's like still like, oh, you don't want them back? Well, I guess I might give them a try at an actual show one of these days if I remember to bring them.
Are they adjustable?
No, they just give me two different sizes.
Gotcha.
They give you like a smaller size and then the larger size to try, like the rubber part. And
Right.
I'm like, I tried both and I don't know, I felt like they just didn't fit in my ears right. Maybe I just have
Gotcha.
weird ear canals.
Okay, so Cassie had never tried them before, and she could not figure out how to put them into her stupid ear canal. And I kid you not, we were there. Actually, I'm looking at the one she wore now. They're disgusting. Ooh, sorry. Um, we sat there at the beginning of emo night for a good 10 minutes trying to get them to sit right in her ear. So, I mean, that's a possibility. It could just be how your ear canal
Yeah, maybe they're
is.
just not good for every ear type, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. But the nice thing is that at the end of emo night, at least, she took them out and she's like, oh, this is so much better. She was like, I feel like I'm not going to be able to hear like during and it's going to take me out of it. No.
Yeah.
Earplugs, Warped Tour, trust me. Again, it's for the bass.
I
Because
wore
you
ear
ear
tubs.
tubs. Uh,
Yep, ear tubs. No, I wore my earplugs. I wore my loops at Summerfest the last 2 days I went, like Friday and Saturday, because yeah, and I'm glad I brought them with me. Just because it's an outdoor music festival doesn't
yeah.
mean that the speakers, like they have a huge speaker system
Yep.
on the stage. That's still going to affect your ears somewhat, especially if they're making it really loud because it is an outdoor festival.
Yeah. The best thing that I can say about earplugs, again, not the cheap like foamy ones. Um, the like the loops or these ones I got from Walmart, it's not going to make it so you can't hear. It's going to take the edge off. It's going to help you just enough. Is it going to make it quieter? Yes. Like, is it going to make it so you can't hear or understand the song? No. The most it's going to do is irritate you because you're barely going to be able to hear the person talking to you. Like, that's a problem. If someone's talking to you during a set, you're probably not going to hear them that well. And you're going to have to get really close to their mouth to be able to hear them at all, even if they're yelling. Um, and on the flip side of that, you're going to think you're talking loud and you're going to be talking very quietly, and other people won't be able to hear you. But wear wear the earplugs. Like, yeah, it seems like you're like a buzzkill or like you're not like having fun or whatever, but save your ears.
Yeah,
Like
I feel
just
like we just promoted a few earplugs, promoted them. Well, we kind of demoted eargasm,
eargasm. I will
kind of.
say, Warped Tour does have eargasms on site where you can get them. Um,
Yeah,
and
they did.
during a certain time, they're a small percentage off at like 10 or 15%, which is going to save you what? They're probably 40-ish dollars, 40 to
Yeah,
60 is my guess. So it's going to only save you like 5-ish dollars, but it's worth it.
yeah.
Um,
And just because the eargasms didn't work for me doesn't mean they won't work for you.
that's right.
So I'm not knocking eargasm. They just weren't for me. The
But
loops are my babies.
same, same. I like my loops,
So
but
yeah, loops. If you want us to promote your earplugs, let us know.
yeah, sponsor us. Sponsor us, Loops. Two
We would
Elder
love a
Emos are the
sponsor.
perfect sponsor for
Double the
Loops.
emo.
Double the emo.
Hmm.
You may be emo and you may enjoy going to concerts, but you know make you real sad not being able to hear your concerts.
It's true.
Protect your ears with Loops.
Even though those ASL people at shows are
Oh my
so
God.
good,
Yeah. Almost makes me wish I was deaf.
almost,
Almost.
but they're so good. ASL guys at ASL people at shows doing the signing, making those facial expressions. You're awesome. Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. What else was
So
there to talk about Warped Tour?
I don't know. What thinking back to when you went in November, what did you not like?
What did I not like?
Yeah.
I mean, there were, I feel like not enough options of food for me being gluten free. There were a few things, but like a lot of the ones that they had that were gluten free, like a quinoa bowl. I mean, I'm not
Hmm.
really into quinoa. I don't want like a healthy bowl. I just want gluten-free food. So that's why I ended up going with the chicken tacos I had with the tacos and tots. So good. Tacos and tots were so good. I ate too much. But yeah, like food options, that I would say. Otherwise, I kind of didn't like slightly how far away some of the state like this we never found the one stage. There was one stage all day that myself and my warped buddy Michael could not find all day. Thankfully, there was no one on that stage we wanted to see really badly. Like there was a couple bands, but we were okay missing them. We were like, I don't know where the stage is, and we didn't have time to figure it out because it was like the map was kind of confusing. Like when you get in there, it was almost like you had to do a U shape, but the map didn't really look like that.
Hmm.
I don't know. It was weird. It just seemed awkward. Maybe we just can't read maps. I don't know.
Maybe.
But that's a couple things I would say.
I would
Otherwise, the bathrooms, that was it.
yeah. I would say food prices
Well, yeah, food prices could
were
go down a
awful.
little bit.
Because I really didn't have a problem with the drink prices at all. Because you had the bottle of water, $3. There was a Ghost hydration drink that I think was like $6, $6 or $8. I can't remember. And then you could get like a mini Ghost energy for 5. And like I felt that was all super for like festival, super affordable. Like the Ghost hydration, so good.
Yeah,
So, so good.
the Liquid Death
Um,
I think was $7 for Liquid Death water.
was the big can.
Yeah. I mean, not
Um,
horrible. I think I drank one.
yeah, because the bottles of water that they had were just your regular like 16 ounce.
Yeah, they didn't have regular water at my Warped
Oh,
Tour. You had to buy like that water. Because I don't remember seeing regular water.
oh. Um, but yeah, so that was good. Um, but again, the food prices.
Yeah,
The only
thankfully my taco, I think it was like $20 for the two tacos and the tots, and I got quite a decent amount of food. So mine was pretty good for the
Good.
money, like how much I got. Other vendors that were vending, I like I always do that. I say, "Oh, that kind of could sound good." And then I go look to see what the serving size looks like and for how much it was, and I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm not getting that. I'm not wasting my money on that. I'm stingy."
And then I'm gonna throw a bunch of festival goers under the bus. Just the etiquette. Like it was bad. It was really bad. I don't know if it's because like it's a lot of people's first festival in general being warped or like people's just first warp. Like I understand people want to like get up closer, like, and you're gonna have to like go by people, but there's no like excuse. There were no like excuse me's or like sorries for like bumping into people, like none of that at all. Um, and while we were watching the used, there was another couple directly in front of us who were equally as pissed off at everybody doing that. And then there was a guy in a wheelchair where people kept like cutting next to him, but like bumping into him, and he was losing his shit. And like just nobody saying like sorry or like it's even like the thing I talked about. I don't know if I talked about it on a different episode that we did. Like up here in Syracuse, it's okay not to say anything as you're squeezing through the crowd, but a hand on the shoulder as you're passing, so somebody knows you're there and like getting through
Hmm.
is very customary up here in our scene. But there was just nothing, and people just kept cutting and bumping. At one point, someone bumped into Cassie and like their beer spilled, but I had my arm around her at that point, and it went all over my arm and hand. Um, and that guy actually did apologize. But like everybody else just kept bumping and squeezing. And like at this point, we're like, festival buddies with these other people that are like irritated and we're like venting to each other. And we end up like, so that people don't cut in front of all of us, hopefully, we end up getting close to them. People still kept doing it. And we were like, and the other girl was like, I'm ready to throw hands. And Cassie was like, the next person's getting elbowed in the face. So like they were very, very irritated. It was bad. The etiquette at Warped Tour was bad. Um, between the seat saving, like the just like pushing and like getting through, like it was bad.
See,
Um,
I didn't notice any bad etiquette really. Like everyone in Orlando Warped Tour seemed to be pretty decent. Like they'd say excuse me and stuff. I don't know if it's just Southern hospitality because it's in Florida, but
Florida is not Southern hospitality state.
I don't know. But you got to remember there's like people closer
Transplants.
transplant people coming from
Yeah.
states around Florida that are closer.
Eh.
Because I think if I remember correctly, like, there's people there from Georgia and Alabama and all that. They drove down to Orlando for a Warped Tour and stuff. So I mean, Southern hospitality.
Yeah. I will say that I found out a decent amount of people from upstate New York drove down to DC. Somebody had commented saying, because the day before in DC, there was really bad thunderstorms. So flights were getting canceled if they were flying in the morning all over the place. And it was a problem for everyone. And somebody had commented, "Oh, I'm supposed to come from Rochester, and my flight was canceled." And Rochester's an hour and a half down the road from me, and for them to get to DC, it's actually the same amount of time. Um, and so I commented, I'm like, I'm driving and leaving at 8 a.m. What? Just drive. And again, like to get that flight, like you get to the airport, you get on the flight, you get off, and then you get an Uber or you get your rental car, blah blah. It's the same amount of time as driving. Like, but anyway, I commented on that, and then a bunch of people were like, "Oh, we're driving too. We're from nearby." And so there was a bunch of people that drove down, and I saw a shit ton of people repping the Bills. So that was good to see. Um, yeah, but
Boo. I didn't see any Packer people.
down in Florida, I wouldn't think so.
No, didn't see any.
Um, but other than the etiquette and the food prices, I really had no. complaints about it. Again, like, yeah, the not having many places to sit sucks a little bit, but sit on the ground, find a place, like just or ask somebody, like if they're sitting like, hey, I've been standing, you mind if I steal your seat for like 20 or 30 minutes? Like just
Yeah.
ask. Who cares? Like
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else to talk about our Warped Tour experiences because I'm trying to think. I'm like, here I thought we would have hardly anything to talk about and we'd only have like a 30-minute conversation about it. And now we're going on like probably
an hour. Look at us
over an
go.
hour.
Yeah.
If anyone's still listening, who knows? But hopefully they are if they want to know about Warped Tour and they haven't gone yet.
Yeah, the next one is in Long Beach, and I was shocked to see they released what bands are playing what day.
Yeah, I know. I saw that too. I was like, wow. And people were complaining that they didn't do that for DC.
Yeah, that would have been very helpful. Although not terribly because you still didn't know the times.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, you still didn't know what time.
But to see, I did see on Reddit and I did see on a couple Facebook groups, people are like, I can only go one of the days and I want to know who's playing when. So to that, I get it. If you're only able to make it for one of the days for whatever reason. But
I do know that at Orlando Warped Tour, I know people that sent us the set times and everything for the next day. So we knew in advance before we even had to see the blow up thing. But we did double check on the blow up.
yeah, they were very strict this year, I think, about that leak because I
Well, they
know
were strict last year too. Apparently Kevin Lyman has been known if things get leaked too soon or too early,
change.
he'll change times.
Yep.
He'll be like, "Nope, someone leaked it. We're changing the times."
I think was it Buddy that leaked it last year? I heard for DC.
I have no idea.
I think
Someone did.
they put the inflatable up early. Somebody took a picture of it and posted it on Reddit, and I think it was Buddy, if I'm not mistaken.
Naughty, naughty.
Tisk tisk tisk.
Tisk,
So
tisk, tisk.
the only thing that leaked was one of the side stages, and it was accurate. So
Hmm. But yeah, I mean, that's about what my experience was like. I don't really have anything else crazy to say about Warped Tour.
the question is, would you go back to Warped Tour and specifically Orlando?
Yeah, I would go back. It was hot, but it wasn't that bad. And it wasn't like dusty or anything. There was like a pond in the middle of it that you could like go sit in the under the trees in and stuff. I mean, there probably was maybe alligators in it, but I never saw one. I don't think anyone did. Probably would have stayed away because of all the loudness.
I have two thoughts. Yes, I would go back. I don't know about DC. And my other stipulation would be I'm not buying tickets until I know the bands at my stop.
Yeah.
Because yes, I was hoping, oh my gosh, a lot of bands are going to be going, and I'm sure I'm going to find ones that I like. Um, it wasn't not that any of the bands I wanted to see weren't there. Um, not enough bands that I wanted to see were there. So I would, yes, I know you're going to be paying maybe, I think it's like 50-ish more by the time they announce all the bands. Fine. I don't care. I'd rather know who's going to be there before getting the tickets. Um, and I don't know about DC.
Yeah.
I didn't have any problems with DC at like very much. One thing I want to give DC super kudos for because these festival grounds are fairly big, a lot in attendance. The parking situation, beautifully handled, top notch. I'm like, we're gonna get stuck. We're gonna have problems. No, parking smooth in, smooth out, no problem whatsoever. Just beautifully handled with the parking.
Yeah.
So
Orlando parking situation was pretty much interesting. If you didn't buy a parking pass, you better have bought parking ahead of time, or you better have Ubered in, uh, or you were walking really far. Because we walked quite far to get to Warped Tour in Orlando, and the location of Warped in Orlando was supposedly not the greatest of neighborhoods.
Well, neither was DC. I do want to say one thing. I don't know if Orlando had them. Leaving DC next year, if anybody goes, this was a huge complaint, and I was shocked. As a matter of fact, Cassie gave these people shit on the second night when we left. Don't take the pedicab. $50 per person per minute for a pedicab to take you from the exit of the festival grounds to your rideshare area or to the metro ended up costing people $450.
Dang.
Do not take them. It is from what I understand, to the metro, it's like a 5 to 10 minute walk once you get off of the festival grounds. Walk. Don't trust. So yeah, we're leaving, and on the second day, and we had already heard all the rumors and saw the receipts people were posting in the Facebook group, and the guy was like, "Oh, it's a pretty far walk. Do you want to ride?" And she goes, "I think your prices are fucking disgusting." So don't take the pedicab. Just don't.
Don't do it. Just
Don't.
walk.
Just walk.
It's cheaper, way cheaper.
Way cheaper.
But yeah, that's all I really had
That's
for
all I
my
got.
experience, and that's all you had.
Yep.
So I guess we're done. All right, bye.
Bye.
But yeah, if you're still listening to this episode and you went to any Warp Tour last year and you went to DC, or you're going to be going to Long Beach, Montreal, or even Orlando this year.
Or
Yeah,
Mexico City.
or Mexico City, yes. That one will be interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, let us know what happens or what your anticipation is for it. Or how your experience was last year. Because I'd like to know the experiences. Because I heard that everyone said Long Beach was great, except for it was packed. Like the weather was great, but it was just packed. So, but Orlando I didn't think was terrible. I would, you know, 8 out of 10. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I'd go back.
I'd give DC 7.
Wow, that's generous. I can only give 8 out of 10 because I feel like there need to be the more food choices for me. And yeah, the bathroom situation.
7 out of 10 because of they need to expand the ground size a little bit in DC. They just make those fences a little bit wider. I know the max capacity is 45,000. It's too small for 45,000.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all we got for you guys tonight. So hopefully you enjoyed our conversation about our Warped Tour experiences.
Hopefully. If not,
Oh
why are
well.
you here?
Yeah. But yeah, stay tuned for more fun random conversations. We might try and do a few more of these because we haven't done a lot of them. We've been doing lots of interviews, but in the meantime, check out those interviews. And yeah, maybe you'll find your next favorite band from one of our interviews. And yeah, give us a follow and all that jazz.
Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.